Hey there, YouTube. I'm Jack, and this is Raw Tropical Living. Thanks for joining me today. I was thinking this weekend when I put out roughly 3 videos a week. I've been putting out lots of videos for years. I put stuff out on Instagram, and sometimes I just kind of get locked in and I realize, well, don't you know how I do things? But no, social media, YouTube, it's all a continually moving thing, and there's always new people coming in, and then, to refresh some people just don't pay that close attention. I get questions a lot of times and I'm like, who do you think I am? Have you watched my content? They get so deep. It's almost like me trying to answer some, it would be like me trying to answer some deep quantum physics or something like that. So just thought I'd share today because most of my raw vegan resources are not raw. And like I say, I just kind of do me. One thing that I think throws a lot of people is I've got no emotion about this stuff. I've got no emotion about this stuff. And that's another reason why I don't discuss or debate stuff on social media. Or on a public forum, because most people out there, they're just looking to debate. They're looking to argue. And I just don't feel like in an online forum, there's just very much to that. I don't absorb information like that. I have not learned one thing about this lifestyle like that. And even though it might seem a little bit boring, I just plod along. I'm always kind of trying to get something new to educate myself. I started thinking about this the other day. Saturday, weather wasn't good here, stuck in the house most of the day. And I took the chance to listen to another podcast of Dr. Bulsiewicz, a fiber-fueled author, on the Rich Roll Show. Now, I've heard him speak a number of times, and there was some new stuff here, but I just like, there's certain resources that I listen to over and over and over that just kind of pound some of this health information into my head. And a lot of times, like I say, it's just I use other resources to understand what we need for our body, and I extrapolate that and I translate that over how I to do the raw food diet. But there are very few raw resources out there over the last 10 years that I've been doing that have just really impressed me all that much. And, just give me the same information that a lot of outsourced resources like Dr. B of Fiber Fueled, and I'll mention some others in a little while, have supplied to me. And one thing I always hear, anytime I mention any of these names like Dr. B, like Dr. Michael Greger, anybody that's not in the raw, everybody out there is in like these little conspiratorial. They're all, everything is extreme, dogmatic, and conspiratorial. And I'll mention somebody that's not raw, and there's always something, oh, that they're bought by this or they've done that. Even like sometimes, and that may be true, I don't know if I've really used any, but I probably have some resources out there that aren't 100% plant-based. Although I'm always 100% plant-based. I will take information where I can get it. And sometimes like somebody will mention, oh, well, I know so-and-so, and I don't know how these people store all this stuff, like people that are fans of a raw food diet out there. They'll know one little thing that one person said on their show or in a book or something that they disagree with, and they throw it all out. Don't ever throw a whole set of information out, or don't discount one person just simply because of one little thing, one little circumstance. Look at the bigger picture and take what you can. I've used that a number of times, like Bruce Lee. Go through everything, take what you can use, discard the rest, and that's good enough. Don't throw that baby out with the bathwater. A lot of while I'm on the subject, and I've got some notes here, some of the resources, like I say, besides Rich Roll, besides Dr. B, and one reason I don't get so much of my information from Rich Roll as I like guests that come on his show. And no, I don't listen to every guest, and every episode doesn't necessarily concern me, but he's had a lot of good guests on there. Dr. Michael Greger, who I mentioned a little while ago, How Not to Die. I think How Not to Die is one of the finest books everybody out there should read that is concerned with their health and want to do something about their health. Dr. Caldwell Esselstyn, wealth of knowledge. Him and his son Rip, both of those, like, he's a pioneer, and it's just like some just simple plant-based science from him. And when you look at him, I was looking up something about him this morning, and I realized he's 88 years old now. as is the next guy, T. Colin Campbell, who has done a lot of pioneer work on a plant-based lifestyle. Both of these guys, well, like, I don't know about T. Colin Campbell. I think he may be even older than Dr. Esselstyn, but they're both up at least in their upper 80s. And like I say, Mr. Campbell may be 90 plus, but it's just like, I just find so much more practical, usable information from people like those than I do raw resources out there. Somebody else, but now here's a couple of raw resources that I have on my Kindle, and I refer to them quite often. One is Brenda Davis. She's got two books that I have, both of them on my Kindle, kind of as reference, Becoming Vegan and Becoming Raw. Now, she gets really deep into some science there. Like, if you want a book on the raw vegan lifestyle, get Becoming Raw. And once again, I think I've mentioned her before, and then somebody's dug back through all the information. Well, she's not fully raw and she doesn't do this. Who cares? Who cares? Most of the fully raw stuff out there, whether you're fully raw or not, and I'm not trying to discourage that. I'm very, very mostly fully raw, eating a little bit of stuff, but most of the stuff that comes from raw food people and they use as proof for things is anecdotal, because there haven't been large enough studies and things to do to prove that. There's not that much in plant-based in general, but there is more, and there is more stuff from some of these people that I'm mentioning here. But Brenda Davis, phenomenal. I can highly recommend both Becoming Vegan and Becoming Raw. Another one too, Doug Graham, 80-10-10. I am not and once again, that's kind of one of those triggering raw splinters right there, that when people don't agree with it 100%, they'll start going, yeah, but he said this, or this book says this, and I don't agree with this. I don't agree with everything in there either. I don't do 80-10-10 as the book is written, but I find a lot of good information in there. I find 8-10-10, that just those numbers, a good general guideline, and there's a wealth of information in there. Once again, read the book, see what you can use, see what you can apply to how you do things, and discard the rest. And I just had Miscellaneous Doctors, because also on the Rich Roll Show and on something podcast I listen to from time to time, something Radio Lab, or no, that's not it. That's another one I have. We'll have other doctors on there, like Dr. Is it Neil Bernard? Like, I'm spacing on, I didn't write down a lot of the other names, but there's a lot of vegan doctors out there, a lot of plant-based doctors out there, that there's a lot of good information from them. Once again, as a raw foodist, I'm not trying to get you not to be raw. I'm not trying to get you to eat more cooked food. I'm just trying to get you to open your mind to learning wherever you can learn from. About the only thing I use raw for these days, and about the only raw people I follow, is for the occasional advice on recipes. Like, I follow all of Alyssa of Raw Food Romance's stuff, and Nate, I follow him on Instagram, because they've got really good looking, tasty, interesting food. I probably only make about less than 1% of everything they do, because I'm lazy. Once again, I was chatting with her this weekend, and man, they're always chopping, they're always preparing this beautiful looking food. One day I'm gonna go out there and mooch off of them for a while and eat some of that good stuff. But yeah, like, I turn to her for recipes. I turn to a few other people every once in a while when I want to see something about a recipe. But all in all, day to day, after 10 years, I kind of, like I say, I push back and I do it in my own time. I listen to podcasts like I did this weekend. I read blog posts all the time. I try to vet them as much as I can. Is this extreme? Is this different versions? I kind of avoid certain language that always seems to be a little woo-woo or conspiratorial or whatever. But I just like to approach this thing from a practical standpoint, and realizing that I'm not the authority on it. There really is no authority on it, but I mean, what more do you really need if you feel good? What more do you really need if your digestion is good? What more do you really need if you're starting to get older? And, I was thinking this weekend, thank God, I don't really, 58 years old, I don't really have any aches and pains. You know, you hear about people that go to bed every night, and they have a hard time sleeping because of their back, because of their knees, because of different things. And true, some have come through various injuries in their life, but a lot of that stuff is just simply from nutrition. And a lot of that stuff is just simple wear and tear on the average person over, as we start to get older. So anyhow, be less emotional about it. There should be, if anything you're watching on this subject, or any groups you're interacting with, or people you're interacting with online, if the interactions are emotional, step back, get out, and just figure out things on your own. Because I don't know, when we're talking about things as important as our body, as what we're putting into our body, the emotional approach just doesn't do it for me. So anyhow, just my 2 cents worth. I'll probably, as soon as I finish this video, I'll think about somebody I should have shared that I didn't. But anyhow, hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you like it, please give me a thumbs up. Have a beautiful week, and God willing, I'll see you here again on Wednesday. Peace.